Welcome to the introductory episode of Car Talk with H Nielsen. I'm H Nielsen, and I'm basically just a gearhead, petrol head, whatever country you're from, whatever you want to call it. And I decided it would be a good use of my time just to kind of have this YouTube show to talk about my passion, which is cars. So what's going to happen is there's going to be five segments that's gonna every time on my show. And first segment's gonna be news. We're just gonna go over what's happening in the car world. I'm gonna give my strong opinions on different things, and we'll have a maintenance section where I just kind of, I'm not an expert, but I have a lot of resources at my disposal to draw upon the expertise of other people. And I'll just give some maintenance tips for you guys who love to take care of your cars, and even if you don't, maybe you should start. Um, we're going to have a segment called 5 car list, and basically I've just created a list of every single car that is either in production right now being sold, or or any notable car that's not in production anymore, but it was pretty recent. Stuff like the Lamborghini Murcielago, Ferrari Enzo, McLaren SLR, those notable cars that are people still own or out there, but just aren't being produced right this second. Then we will have a feature on motorsport. I know we're here in America, we got a lot of NASCAR fans, but I just don't dig NASCAR, so I probably won't be talking a lot about NASCAR. It'll mostly be F1 stuff. Big Formula One fan. Occasionally, we might have some other motorsports thrown in there if there's some big stuff happening. But the only sport I know enough about to really talk about is Formula One, and so anything else I would just look stupid, and everyone who's viewing probably knows more about it than I do. So I'll stick to what I know, which is F1. Then at the end, after all those are done, we're gonna have a special feature on every show, which is basically just some car related thing that I feel like talking about. They're not really planned in advance. I usually just plan the one for the show. I couldn't even tell you what it's going to be about next week. And it'll usually be stuff that has to do with car stuff that I've been thinking about lately. Not just like I sit down to write the show and say, you know what, I kind of like the Aston Martin Vanquish. I'm gonna do the feature on that. No, it'll just be stuff I've already been thinking about for some reason. A few things to get out of the way. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a broadcaster. I don't have a degree, so it might not be like what you see on TV. But hopefully I can make it through and you guys enjoy it. I have a racing simulator, not really a race, a driving simulator. I use Gran Turismo 5, and I have all the wheel, cockpit, all the settings to make, and equipment to make it realistic. And I a lot of times use that as a resource when I'm getting opinions about cars. I mean, it's not perfect, it's not the real thing, but it's got great physics, great realism, and so it's really actually a tool, a really useful tool to tell me. It's not going to tell me how great the interior feels or anything like that, but it will give me, and you if you have one too, it gives a great basic understanding of how the car handles, if it's quick, if it's fast, all that kind of stuff. So I do use that as a tool. If you, for some reason, think that's not a viable tool, then you can disregard the information I gain from it. That's your choice. But I see it as a useful tool, so I use it and I present the data on the show. And basically all my other information is gained from, I watch a lot of car shows, I read a lot of car magazines, read a lot of articles online, do a ton of research, um, and I know a decent amount about cars, and so that's where I get most of my information from. I don't have the time or the money and the resources to road test most of the cars that I review or give opinions on. They're basically my own personal opinions, and then a mix of what the general consensus is for other reviewers and journalists who have reviewed the car. So that's where I get my information from. Um, so I think I've gotten all the dumb stuff out of the way.